Hello, EJK is back, and another suggestion for a game from Elucin Will from the US of A. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Flash is playing Code A today gave me so much passion, so I'm requesting an analysis from Game 2 on Cactus Valley. Now, the VOD is now available. I love how all the VODs are free now. Finally, it took forever. Well, let's hop into the game. Let me just make sure everything's recording properly. And it is. So, this was a very cool game by Flash. It's been something a long time coming. I think it was only a matter of time before we saw a cool macro game out of him like this. Let me try to remember. He played versus Curious on this map, did a 3 racks into this kind of style. It was also cross positions on Cactus Valley. He has been working on the style. I believe he first started improving it and tweaking it a really long time ago, actually. It was between him versus BL on merry-go-round. I think that was the first time I saw him do double factory, make the Thors, and get a really fast 4th base. That's pretty much what he does here. The only difference is the build opener. This opener, a little history on that, has been around since the beginning of Heart of the Swarm. Innovation popularized it. I believe this build was Innovation's go-to build before the Widow Mines got nerfed. I remember learning this build on Yansu back in like October/November of 2013, or whenever Heart of the Swarm, the first year that Heart of the Swarm came out. I believe it's 2013. So this build has been around for a while. It's essentially CC first, then you get your barracks, your gas, you make 6 Hellions. You get very fast upgrades though, so your upgrades should start researching around the 7-minute 30 mark, I believe. The exact timing will be shown very soon, of course. And your 3-3 upgrades finish before the 18-minute mark, so the entire purpose of this build is to rush up to 3-3 and hit a powerful 3-3 timing attack. That's the goal of Flash that he has in mind here. Everything else he does before that, like after you know what the goal is, everything before that makes a lot more sense of why he's doing it. It's obviously to get to his goal, which is to take really good engagements with his 3-3 bio army when he gets 3-3. So, a little about the game, I guess. Flash is not scouted yet. This is all Overlord stuff. The drones scouted cross positions, check the watchtower for proxy 2 racks. Impact, of course, upon seeing the command center first, goes for the double hatchery before pool. Very safe opening, especially in these positions. Playing as greedy as possible. In fact, delaying getting speed as well. Flash, on the other hand, doesn't even bother to scout. I think he knows where his opponent is because of the drone scout. Yeah, a little vision there shows that Flash has not scouted anything. But that drone scouts are usually done cross position. You go through the watchtower. So, like in Flash's head, it's pretty safe to assume that your opponent is in fact cross positions. Going for that really fast 3rd command center as well. There's no real reason to try to hide doing the command center, or hide the command center as well. First of all, you can't really hide it on this map. Second of all, part of the game plan is to get to 3-3 as fast as possible, and part of doing that is to land your 3rd base as fast as possible. So if you put your command center like way over here and try to hide it from an Overlord, of course the Overlord sees it right now before it's even done. We see it on the minimap. If you put your command center like really far away, it's going to take an additional like 25 to 30 seconds to land that thing. And Flash lands his command center at about the 9-minute mark. So if he waited any later, or if he put his building towards the back, it would have delayed his 3rd command center timing, which is extremely important. You need to power up that 3rd base so you can get the gases for the double Thor production, and of course the 3-3 upgrades. And to get enough mineral income to get a fast 4th base as well. Which is the variation that Flash does as opposed to Innovation. Innovation popularized this build, going up to 8 racks before a 4th base. But Flash going up to a 4th command center around right before the 13-minute mark, before he gets his 6th, 7th, and 8th barracks as well. So a 1-1 starting at about the 7-minute 30 mark. Cool that I remember my timings, I guess. That's one thing about StarCraft. If you remember timings of builds, they will never get old, and they will always be useful. Mechanics, however, mechanics is basically the only thing that you don't disintegrates as you play less and less. But a build is all about thinking, and it's all about memorization, and that stuff does not go away. So Flash scouted that 3rd base. He scouted pretty good saturation. His Hellions now are content to stay in the middle of the map. Of course, he needs to keep those Hellions alive. He needs those Hellions to scout what his opponent is doing, and at the same time to scout, or to keep alive his 3rd base, because if he loses those Hellions, Impact can just do a big baneling bust and kill him, because these 6 Hellions are the only thing Flash has that can actually do a decent amount of damage until the medevacs are out. So scaring away these lings, securing his 3rd base more importantly, and also buying time for the medevacs to come out. Flash is in a good position. Impact, his creep spread is really lacking over here. Very poor play from him. He might have... No, I don't even think he was saving up transfuses on purpose. Actually, he could have. Because he did scout a 3rd command center. It doesn't mean that there could be a Hellbat attack, though. So, not entirely sure about the reason, but it is sloppy from Impact due to some reason, like inefficient scouting or just being a bad player, that he didn't spread his creep further. The creep should be nearing the watchtower right now. That's one of the things you have to do against this kind of greedy play. Otherwise, as we see later on, Flash lack of creep spread allows Flash to easily bully Impact around the map. Already at 120 supply at the 11-minute mark, this build is a very, very power build. If you can survive the first, say, 11-ish minutes, you can start getting your 5 racks production, pumping nothing but Marines. You're going to skyrocket up into supply, and Flash gets to be about 150 supply before the 12-minute mark. That's just ridiculous, the amount of powering that this build does. And we see the 2 factors going down. Of course, you need both gases at your 3rd base to be able to support this kind of factory production. Flash doing some little micro. He knows that Impact has 4 bases. He knows that the Mutalisks are delayed, so he knows that this is okay, and he's doing a push out here with the first 2 Widow Mines. The goal of this is to trade the armies so that Impact has to remake this part of an army instead of using it to tech. We already see the 4th command center going down. I think Flash spread goes a little too far on to creep. If he was slightly to the right and a little bit more of his army was outside of creep and both of the Widow Mines were off creep, that's one important thing in the fight. Was one Widow Mine was over here, the other one was way behind. It wasn't even burrowed, and it just got a whiff off. If the Widow Mines were down off of the creep, Flash could have applied a lot more pressure and took a perhaps much better engagement. But Impact pounces exactly at the right moment, loses a couple Mutalisks there, is extremely sloppy. He's probably just nervous, I guess. And then these Widow Mines, all it takes 2 crappy Widow Mine shots, Impact is ahead. 2 good Widow Mine shots, Flash is ahead. Or not ahead, I should say the game is relatively even again. So it kind of neutralizes the crappy fight that Flash had to begin with. And we also see here Impact's creep spread is complete shit. Flash has not touched it at all. He hasn't done a single scan against it. Impact, on the other hand, has not bothered spreading creep. It's like he hasn't spread many tumors in the past couple minutes. The creep should be at the watchtower at this point, so the fact that it's not simply just makes it a lot easier for Flash. A lot more breathing room, a lot less creep he has to clear to get to these two bases. We see this is going into the later stages of the game, and the reasoning behind Flash's strategy here to camp on 4 bases is he's waiting for the 3/3 upgrades. This army that he has now, Marine, Widowmine, Thor, they're all defensive. He doesn't even have the watchtower right now. All he's doing is a bunch of drops, these cute little drop plays that is doing a lot more damage than it should. Impact, that's like his entire army right there. That's just chasing after one drop. Like, this is seriously very sloppy play from Impact. Now he splits up his army. These reinforcements coming out from the hatcheries, very sloppily dealing with this drop, giving Flash a lot of small wins here that he otherwise shouldn't have gotten from a higher caliber player. But the important thing to note is that Flash's main army, and he has 2 sensor towers as well, so he's completely turtled up. But Flash's main army is here at his 4th base and here between the 3rd and 4th base. The positioning of his army is very, very defensive. The reasoning behind that is because he doesn't have 3/3 yet. So he's doing this light pressure that shouldn't even do any damage, but is doing a lot more damage than it should be to Impact. And notice how Impact has not spread his creep at all again. He's a very, very sloppy player. Barely keeping up with the macro. But just the fact that he is not spreading creep, it just baffles me. It does not deserve to be in Code S if he cannot spread creep like a Korean. Flash continuing with these drops. He, of course, wants to keep taking these small trades, and these trades are going a lot better for him than they should. As a result, this is delaying Impact's 5th base from being operational. This is delaying his Ultra Tech, his Ultra's Cavern, halfway done now. His upgrades are also slightly delayed as well. Now, Flash, for the first time in this game, Flash's main army is now out on the map, and he's finally taken the watchtower. Coincidentally, with 3/3 right about to be finished. So now is the time when Flash starts to really want to look for these trades with his main army, because he knows that he's going to take good engagements, basically no matter like how bad his macro is, or I mean his micro. Like, this doesn't look like a very clean engagement at all by him, but the fact that he's 3/3 and his opponent is not means that he's going to trade out effectively regardless of his opponent's army advantage, or regardless of like his opponent's micro advantage that he might have over Flash. The army composition is just not, or the upgrade and just the army composition in general is just not there. We see Impact reduced to 10 Mutalisks and 10 Banelings after that fight, so even though that looked like it went poorly for Flash, Flash is by no means out of this, and he also got a bunch of damage done to that 5th base. Main purpose of these pushes is to deny the 5th base. So if Impact takes this base, Flash pushes over there and attacks it. If Impact takes this base, Flash pushes over there and makes an impact on Impact's Zerg economy. Getting a little overextension, but it's alright. Fighting off creep again with 3/3. Flash instantly snipes off a bunch of units for free, essentially. Yeah, Impact, I think the reason why Impact does not go for Ultralisks, he has the Ultralisk Cavern, he's getting that Ultralisk Chitinous plating right now as well, but he continues to make Mutalisks and Banelings. I think the reasoning behind that is because he sees all of these Marauders, and Flash is already anticipating the Ultra switch. His medevac harassment has seen the Ultralisk Cavern, so he knows that it's a possibility, but just the fact that it's out there, Flash is making a very Marauder heavy based army. So Impact is forced, or Impact, it's preventing Impact from switching into that ultra army that he wants, that big ultra bane army that's really scary to deal with once you have like 50 banes and 10 ultras and like 15 mutas. So Impact is choosing not to get that kind of an army. Yeah, Flash sees it right now, but he's already been making Marauders. It's a 20-minute mark, and the Zerg player is still staying on Mutalisks. Come on. So, like, this kind of army, if Impact is going to do this kind of style, what he needs to do with his army is a lot more counterattacks and a lot more Mutalisk harassment as well. With like a big ball of like 30 plus Mutalisks. But that wasn't his plan. He got fast 3-3, and he's planning on going into Ultra Bane. And now he's just changed his game plan because he sees all of these Marauders and knows it wouldn't be a good switch to switch into. So that's why this game pretty much goes on for a little bit longer. Pretty much because Flash has a bunch of Marauders. He refuses to make Marines or more Marines to deal with the Mutalisks because he does not want an Ultra switch to hit him. And even if it does, he wants to be on top of the army composition advantage. Like, he's trading okay here against this kind of an army as well. Like, he's not even doing poorly against it. The Thors are doing a good job at dealing with the Mutalisks. So he's, by the war of attrition, a 4-base Terran will beat a 4-base Zerg player. And Impact does not have a 5th base. He's trying to take both of the 5th bases at the same time because he knows he's in desperate need of another base. His main base is about to mine out. His natural and 3rd are going to mine out soon because he took them so fast as well. Flash pushing towards the other 5th base that's been freshly made, and just a horrible fight by Impact. His lack of creep spread is really hurting him. All of these fights have been off of creep, and everyone knows that you cannot attack off of creep as a Zerg player, or that you do not want to. There are times when you can attack off creep if you're really far ahead, or if you can get a sick flank off, but this is neither here nor there in this game. And Impact takes a bad engagement. He no longer has an economy to remax. Flash is taking his 5th base as we speak. He still has a very good economy. He built an additional 2 orbital command centers, so he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orbital command centers worth of mules right now. So his economy is in a fantastic position. We see Impact struggling to remax. He's making even more Mutalisks. He doesn't even have the critical Mutalisk count to really come back in this game either. When Curious played against Flash, Curious made a lot of Mutalisks. He never teched to hive, and he just kept making Mutalisks and looking for small things to trade out with his like 50-ish Mutalisk flock. Impact trying to do the same, not really working out, and instead he's being forced to use them in a main army engagement, which is extremely bad. I mean, even with all of these Marauders, more Marauders than Marines, 15 Marines versus 19 Mutalisks, Flash is still in a very dominating position. Because even though Flash isn't necessarily winning right now, there's no way that Impact can win himself at this rate. Flash just, first he was on this side of the map, he pushed this base successfully. Impact took this base and then that base again. Flash moves to the other side of the map, he pushes that base. Now Impact has this base back up, Flash moves to the other side of the map, and now he's pushing the base again. The Mutalisk harass just doesn't even do anything. It's not even worth talking about. And we see Flash just pushing, denying that 5th base again. So his game plan on this map is to deny the 5th base of the Zerg player. And he's not afraid of a 4-base Zerg, of Hive Tech Zerg on 4 bases, because he has enough economy himself to make all of these Marauders and Thors, which is good unit composition to deal with a Hive-based Ultra Bane army. Which Impact is really feeling the pressure of, putting him in an uncomfortable position of trying to get stuff done with mutalisks, he's doing like half and half strategy, and that's not working out for him at all. So at this point, Flash is maxed out. He's just playing it very safely. There's no need to rush over here because he knows that his opponent is only on 4 bases, and not even all of them are mining right now. We see Impact's mineral income just declining a lot simply because his bases are starting to run out, whereas Flash is at a healthy 2k plus mineral income per minute. Little drop here, just being annoying. All Flash wants to do is deny some mining time while he gets his army over there to finish the base off. Anything else is a bonus. And yeah, Impact on his last straws here. Widow Mines. It doesn't even matter. Flash just has such a big army that Impact cannot touch it. There's so many Mauraders that they're literally impossible to kill for the Zerg player at this point, unless you have a lot of Ultras and Banelings, or you have like enough Mutalisks to overwhelm the Marines, but nope. Look, GG is called. Impact gets crushed, not surprisingly, and Flash gets to showcase his awesome macro bio in TVZ that we've been seeing. I think against a better player such as like Sue or Dark, he would have gotten absolutely crushed, or it would have been a much closer game. But Impact just not on the same level as Flash. So hopefully that was helpful. There's not too much things that Flash did differently. Just a small variation on an otherwise already well-established build, getting the faster 4th base, getting double factors and making Thors, and the whole focus is on Hive Tech and 3-3. Hive Tech versus 3-3. Ultras versus Mauraders. That's why Flash makes such a funky-looking army. If you guys have any other suggestions, just leave a comment below, and I will find the video. It's much more helpful if you actually link it, because sometimes I don't watch the videos beforehand, so I don't know exactly where the videos are. Sometimes I gotta like search it up, and even then it doesn't guarantee that I have the right video. But yeah, if you leave a comment though, suggestion about a video that I should do next, I will get to it as soon as possible. Till then, cheers guys, and peace out.